Let's play Battlefield 1. Hi there, it's Timmy Joe. This is a Core 2 duo from 10 years ago, now playing Battlefield 1. And I'm going to take you through what this computer came from, what kind of specs it was, how much it cost me. If you've been following along, you kind of already know a little bit about this stuff, but we're going to try and keep the audio good because I have a water cooler that's very loud right there. We're going to try and keep this speedy, and I'll explain real quick. This is a Intel Pentium dual core, or Core 2 Duo E6500, runs at 2.93 gigahertz, and it is from 10 years ago. Running on, I'm sorry, I previously might have said it was an Asus motherboard. It's a gigabyte motherboard, and I have overclocked the ever living out of it to 3.78, almost 3.8 gigahertz. I was really trying to hit 4, but this means the clock speed actually matches that. It's further than my Ryzen stock. Now my Ryzen will turbo boost. It's further than my Core i7. I had a Core i7 3770. It was like 3.4 gigahertz. Turbo boost to 3.7. So we're missing a lot of threads, a lot of cores here, and some RAM too. Only 4 gigs of DDR2 800 speed memory. But when we started out, it had this video card in it, and I paid roughly $50 for all the components. Said and done, you could have this computer running. And I'm going to go through where I got with that initial setup. Throw some benchmarks up on here. We were able to do a few nice things. It had a Cinebench score, kind of. It was able to play some games from the era, no problem with this video card. It would have been a fairly high-end system for 10, even 8, 7 years ago. But things dramatically changed around the Core Broadwell CPUs or Ivy Bridge and all that, to the point where you really need some cores. Or do you? Overclocked to near 4 gigahertz, I am able with my GTX 770 to run Battlefield 1 on this computer. Now, I was very surprised that the DirectX and the system specs, it didn't stop me to this point, but here we are. Let's load a campaign. Now, this game being the latest and greatest, I will admit, I can't get it to run very well. I can play this game on my Ryzen system with this GPU and achieve very wonderful frame rates at 1080p. This is a stretch on this CPU. I need to be running 720p low on everything. But it runs, and will it just load into a level? I mean, I can't even believe that it does that. Another amazing thing, I'll show you a clip here. So with the GTX 770 now overclocked to the max you can get out of it, we're going to go ahead and run that Tomb Raider benchmark. Again, ultimate quality, but even ultra. Let's go ahead and see how she fares. Boom! 60 FPS average running a Core 2 Duo with a GTX 770. I think that just goes to show that this game comes from a time where you were optimizing for Xbox 360, PS3, which, the hardware was getting pretty long in the tooth. They were relying more on GPU hardware than CPU hardware, where Battlefield's a different story. That is ridiculous. This tells me you can go out and buy a $50 computer and a $100 graphics card on Craigslist, meld the two together, and as long as you don't want to play the absolute best of the best and most amazing up-to-date games at 1080p or 4K, you can actually do some pretty cool things, like competitively game in WoW or in Counter-Strike Source or Dota 2. You could play, some of these non-CPU intensive titles from the last few years. It's actually doable. Now, you're not going to do much else on this, production-wise. You're not going to video edit. You're not really going to be able to use any sort of graphical intensive stuff and expect it to happen fast, like rendering or anything like that. But as you can see, this is Battlefield and it's running. Now, I'm sure that this is just a video, but let's see if we can't get into the tank and show you what the quality's like. Oh, well, I'm going to take them out right now. Don't you worry. Oh, I ran over a German! Oh, you guys like this, eh? Oh, you're so dead. Oh, you guys want to get run over, eh? Oh, running over Germans! The poor Germans! Ooh, the Germans. Better repair my tank soon. That's upside down, if I've ever seen it. Well. Oh, well, gentlemen, I think I've proved that a Core 2 Duo system is nowhere near extinct or ready to be thrown out. You can definitely find some amazing uses for it, like some emulator gaming, some light older gaming, some games like BioShock Infinite. We're throwing up some wonderful screen grabs here of some games I've been playing, showing you the types of frame rates that it's actually possible to be getting on a system like this, especially if you add a fairly up-to-date video card, maybe from the last 3 or 4 years. Even I always recommend a GTX 750 Ti or a 1050, probably be overkill these days. But you can game on a Core 2 Duo system, even with 4 gigs of RAM, as long as you give it a little TLC, and if you put even a powerful graphics card in there and overclock it, water cool it, you might be able to play Battlefield 1. I'm Timmy Joe. Don't throw your old hardware out. Click the subscribe button. There is Ryzen videos, I'll have to say it, on the horizon. All types of content coming. I've got things like that water coolers going in there. We're doing an overclocking guide. We're doing the Wraith cooler versus water cooled. We're going to do different combinations of CPUs. I've got Ryzen 5 coming as soon as it's out. We've also got LG G6 is on pre-order. I should have it just by the beginning of April. So lots of new content coming up on this channel. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Timmy Joe, and I hope you guys have a snazzy day. Yeah.